This is the lesson for Chapter 11, Section 2, titled Multiplying and Dividing Rational Expressions, day number 2. So today we are dividing, and so let's take a look at our first problem. So what we need to do first is change the division to multiplication before we do anything else. And so that's the first step you're going to do. Before you even try to look for common factors, you've got to do that. And the reason is that if I tried to reduce going up and down, which I cannot do right now, but if I tried to, I would not be doing it correctly, because we have to change division to multiplication and then work the problem. So that's the first step, and it actually works in our favor with this problem, because now we have some x plus y's that will cancel, and we have this x that will cancel. So all I'm left with is a y, and it's on the bottom of the fraction, so I need to show that by putting a 1 on top of the fraction. So that's what I'm going to write, 1 over y. On this next problem, same sort of thing. We could go ahead and factor out the common factors here as we rewrite it. And that would be a good step to start with. So 4 times k plus 2. Down below, I'm going to take out the common factor of 2. Leaves me with 3k minus 5. So now I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to move this to the top of the fraction. I'm going to move this to the bottom. So as I do that, I'm going to factor. So I look for the common factor here. I see 3, so it's going to be a 3k minus 5, and then over here this is a trinomial that will end up factoring to k plus 4 and a k plus 2. So once I've done that, now I can go ahead and start reducing. So the 3k minus 5s will cancel out, the k plus 2s will cancel, 2 goes into 4 2 times. So let's see what's left over. So now I'll circle the parts that we have. We've got the 2, we've got the 3, and down below I've got the k plus 4. So I'll go ahead and multiply those. 6 over k plus 4. So moving on to the next one, same sort of thing. I'm going to factor as I go with that first fraction. So it's going to be a z minus 1 and a z minus 1. So you could write that as a quantity squared as well. Down below I've got nothing to factor there, z squared plus 2. You'd think it might factor, but it doesn't. It's a square, and it's not a difference of squares, so the only binomial that factors as two binomials is a difference of squares. There's no common factor. So I need to multiply by the reciprocal. So the z minus 1 goes on the bottom, and now I'll look for common factors. Z minus 1, that's what cancels. And so nothing else reduces, so I'll just go ahead and rewrite that. So I've got a z minus 1 on top of the fraction. Down below I've got the z squared plus 2. Cannot cancel out those z's. So let's move on to the next type of problem that we'll end up seeing, and this is a fraction over a fraction. Well, it's just another way to show the same type of division problem we had before. So this represents a division sign. So this is the part that we have to take the reciprocal of. So what I'm going to do is rewrite it like this. 1 over q plus 4 multiplied by, now remember, you're putting the far denominator is going to go on top, because if you were to rewrite this as a division problem, it would look like this. 1 over q plus 4 divided by 2q squared over 2q plus 8. That's what the problem would look like. And so we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So this is going to stay in, is going to go in the denominator. So it looks like this. I'm going to factor as I go. So this is going to go on top. So 2 and then a q plus 4. Down below, 2q squared. And so what will cancel is the q plus 4s. We also have a 2 canceling out, so we'll cancel that out, and let's see what's left over here. So what we've got is we've got the 1 on top still, and we've got a q squared, and that's it. Well, moving on to this one, I'll go ahead and factor as I go. C plus 4, and down below it goes to a c plus 3 and a c plus 2. That's the factored form of this denominator. Now I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, so this has got to go on top, and so it's going to be a 2c and a c, and to get a 5, I'm going to go ahead and multiply the 2 by 3, and then I'm going to put a 1 right here, and then if I put a plus sign with the 3, that makes a 6c. This will make negative 1c. That will subtract to make 5c. Down below, we've got the common factor of 3c, so that leaves me with a c plus 4. And so now I'm ready to go ahead and reduce. C plus 4's cancel out. We've got the c plus 3 here, canceling out this c plus 3, and that's as far as we can go. So what's left over is the 2c minus 1. Down below, we've got the 3c and this 2 plus, or c plus 2. So I'm going to go ahead and use the distributive property there. 3c squared plus 6c, and that would be our answer. So can't do any reducing from there, and so that is it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next type of problem that we'll see, and it's this loan payments, it says. So it says that the formula below gives the monthly payment M on a loan as a function of the amount A borrowed A. So A is the amount we borrow. Annual rate of interest expressed as a decimal, and the number of months N of the loan. Use the formula and the calculator, because you're not going to want to do without, to go ahead and do the work. So it says that what is the monthly payment on a loan of, okay, so this is your A value right here. This is our R value, but we've got to change it to a decimal, so 0.08. And then it says over 18 months. It's annual interest, and that's what it is, annual interest rate. So it can't be like compounded quarterly or monthly or anything. It doesn't say it is. So over 18 months. And so the N needs to be in what unit of time? Yes, it is in months. So sometimes the problems are in years, and so we have to check. And so this one is a number of months represents the loan. Okay, so now all we're going to do is substitute. We have M equals, and then in place of A, we're putting 1,500 times by, and then 0.08, expressed as a decimal, it said, over 12, and then times by 1 plus 0.08, all over 12 to the N power. N is 18, so this is why you'd want to use a calculator. And so what I would do to start with is I'd press the fraction button first, and then in the numerator enter all of this information. And then come down to the denominator and then finish off the rest of it. 1 plus the rate, 0.08, all over 12 to the 18th power, and then minus 1. So I'd enter all of that into the calculator as it is, and try doing that. See if you get the same answer. And so I ended up getting $88.71. So that's what we'll round to, is just to the nearest cent. And so those are the types of problems you're going to see on today's lesson. Good luck.